Hello, and welcome to this Interpreter's Reveal on how to run an online meeting. If you're watching this video, it's very likely that a conference or a meeting that you had originally planned to host or to attend in person has now moved online, and that event involves 2 or more languages. In other words, you're probably looking for a remote conference interpreting solution. Now, just exactly what do we mean by conference? Well, there are a lot of definitions, but for these purposes, we mean a structured, formal meeting, one with an established agenda where ideas are debated. So that could be anything from a UN meeting to your local school board, basically. In the online world, there are lots of options available, some rather formal and structured, like your meeting, others less so, or do it yourself. We're here to talk about the former, to promote good practices that will help you run your event smoothly and ensure that your interpreters can perform as effectively as possible under the circumstances. For a more detailed checklist, look up the recent release by the International Association of Conference Interpreters, AIC.
Do remember, none of the existing solutions available today exactly replicate the experience of being there. Not for you, not for your participants, and certainly not for your interpreters. Some adjustments and accommodations will need to be made. More on that later.
Do remember that hosting an online conference takes as much planning and preparation as an in-person meeting, if not more. Bring your interpreters or a consultant interpreter on board early in the planning process.
Do provide your interpreters a copy of your conference-specific documentation well in advance. A prepared interpreter is a more effective interpreter.
Do understand that there are 3 main types of remote interpreting: over-the-phone interpreting, video remote interpreting, and remote simultaneous interpreting, or RSI. This video will focus on the latter.
Do keep in mind that there are significant differences between business video conferencing platforms and remote simultaneous interpreting platforms.
While the technology isn't perfect and interpreter co-location is still the gold standard, interpreters can collaborate on an RSI platform even while working from home under exceptional circumstances. This teamwork is vital to effective interpreter performance.
So do use a platform equipped with RSI function. Don't try and be MacGyver.
Do keep in mind that interpreter fatigue is real. Remember how we said that remote is not like being there? For interpreters, it takes extra mental effort to render a speaker's message properly with imperfect audio and few or no visual cues, depending on availability and quality of the video stream. In sum, RSI is harder for interpreters than being there.
Once you've chosen a remote interpreting solution that fits your needs and figured out the technology, follow best practices for any online conference.
Do consider shorter meetings. A lengthy meeting that depends on screen interaction could be exhausting and result in cognitive overload for everyone, not just for interpreters. In fact, consider adding interpreters for your event to offset this additional effort.
Do be sure your video is on. Interpreters need to see speakers as well as hear them.
Do remember to speak at a moderate pace. If the sound cuts or drops out, interpreters can still get your meaning across, even if they missed a word or two.
Don't rely heavily on videos or prepared texts. They make it harder to get your message across in multiple languages.
Do make sure your presenters are using appropriate technology, an Ethernet connection, and an external, preferably noise-canceling microphone. While not ideal, the microphone in your smartphone earbuds will work. If you are a presenter, the onboard microphone in your computer is not good enough.
Do make sure presenters aren't calling in on a phone line or Wi-Fi. Poor sound quality is the #1 challenge for interpreters. We can't interpret what we can't hear.
Do carry out a technology test before the day of the event and make sure you involve both interpreters and technicians during this test.
Keep in mind that moderated meetings work best. It's impossible to interpret when everybody is speaking at once. Plus, that's confusing and annoying for participants and other attendees.
Do expect interpreters to let you know if they have issues with sound, video, or individual speakers. Be prepared for them to stop interpreting if they're unable to see or hear properly.
Don't expect to live stream on social media or to record your interpreters. If you need to do that, discuss it with your team well in advance, as interpreters hold the copyright to their renditions.
Of course, do hire professional interpreters with the right credentials. Unfortunately, right now, there's no conference interpreter certification. That means you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to find the right team.
In sum, please do take responsibility for the overall success of your event. This involves ensuring that participants, interpreters, speakers, and hosts are all properly prepared, well-equipped, and familiar with the platform that you've chosen, its key features, and its challenges. Do expect that some things will go wrong, as happens with on-site meetings as well. Here, well, there may be power outages. The internet connections may drop. Some participants may have audio issues. Of course, more serious things like data loss or unauthorized access can also occur. It's up to you as a conference organizer to ensure that all possible protections have been made to avoid these types of situations. But in the end, finally, please stay calm and stay safe. It's a brave new world. You can count on the commitment of your professional interpreters and your participants to make your event a tremendous success, despite any problems that may occur along the way. Thanks for watching.